Reuben's story, like many in the Bible, begins with his birth. His arrival into the world was not just a personal milestone for his family, but also a significant event in the broader narrative of the Israelite people. He was the firstborn son of Jacob and Leah, as told in Genesis. This was a time when the birth of a firstborn son carried immense weight and expectation. His birth brought Leah great joy, especially because she had been longing for her husband's love. Leah, who often felt overshadowed by her sister Rachel, saw Reuben's birth as a sign of hope and a potential turning point in her relationship with Jacob. Leah named her son Reuben, a name that means sea, a son. This name was not just a declaration of his birth, but also a profound expression of her emotions and aspirations. This name reflects the significance of a firstborn son in ancient Israelite culture. In those times, the firstborn son was seen as a symbol of strength and continuity for the family line. The firstborn son held a privileged position, carrying the responsibility of leadership and inheritance. This role was not just about material wealth, but also about spiritual and social duties. Reuben's birth as the first of the 12 sons of Jacob placed him in a prominent position within the family. His role was to be a leader among his brothers and a key figure in the unfolding story of the Israelite tribes. His name, given by his mother Leah, reflects the joy and hope associated with the arrival of a firstborn son. Leah's choice of name was a testament to her deep-seated desire for recognition and love within her family. The significance of Reuben's birth reverberates throughout his life and the history of his tribe. His actions and decisions would go on to shape the destiny of his descendants and influence the course of biblical history. It is a story marked by both promise and disappointment, a testament to the enduring impact of choices made and the complexities of human nature. Reuben's life was a tapestry of triumphs and trials, reflecting the broader human experience. The arrival of a firstborn son was a momentous occasion in ancient Israel, often accompanied by blessings and celebrations. These events were not just family affairs, but communal gatherings that reinforced social bonds and cultural values. Reuben's birth was undoubtedly a time of great joy for Leah, marking a turning point in her relationship with Jacob. She hoped that this new life would bring her closer to her husband and secure her place in his heart. Little did she know, however, the trials and triumphs that lay ahead for her son. Reuben's journey would be filled with challenges that tested his character and shaped his legacy. As the eldest of 12 brothers, Reuben's interactions with his siblings were complex and often fraught with tension. His position as the firstborn came with expectations that were not always easy to meet. Throughout his life, Reuben had moments where he stepped into his role as a leader, guiding his brothers through difficult times. However, his journey was also marked by moments of failure and regret. The decisions Reuben made had lasting impacts on his family and his tribe. His story serves as a reminder of the weight of responsibility that comes with leadership and the far-reaching consequences of our choices. Leah, who had named her son with such hope and joy, would witness the unfolding of his complex life. Her journey as a mother was intertwined with Reuben's path, filled with both pride and sorrow. Reuben's legacy in ancient Israel is a testament to the enduring influence of the firstborn son. His life, with all its ups and downs, left an indelible mark on his tribe and the history of the Israelite people. The story of Reuben, as recorded in the Bible, is a rich tapestry of human experience. It captures the essence of what it means to be the firstborn, with all the hopes, dreams, and challenges that come with that role. In the end, Reuben's life is a reflection of the ancient Israelite traditions and customs that shaped his world. His story is a window into the past, offering insights into the cultural and familial dynamics of his time. As Reuben matured, his actions began to contradict the promise of his birthright. Born as the first son of Jacob, Reuben was expected to inherit leadership and a double portion of his father's estate. However, his choices led him down a path that would ultimately strip him of these privileges. He made a grave error, a sin against his father, Jacob. This act was not just a simple mistake, but a profound betrayal that shook the very foundations of their family. Jacob, who had high hopes for his eldest son, was left heartbroken and disillusioned. This sin, though not explicitly detailed in the Bible, cast a dark shadow over Reuben's life and forever tarnished his reputation. The ambiguity surrounding the nature of his transgression only added to the weight of his guilt and the severity of his punishment. The consequences of Reuben's sin were significant, leading to a loss of his birthright and a fracturing of his relationship with his father. This loss was not just a personal setback, but a public disgrace, marking him as unworthy in the eyes of his family and tribe. Jacob, deeply hurt and angered by Reuben's transgression, pronounced a curse upon him. This curse was not a momentary outburst, but a deliberate and solemn declaration that would echo through the generations. This curse, recorded in Genesis chapter 49, verses 3-4, declared that Reuben would be unstable like water, unable to excel. The imagery of water, fluid and uncontrollable, symbolized Reuben's inability to maintain his position and fulfill his potential. This prophecy had a profound impact on Reuben's life and the future of his tribe. It served as a constant reminder of the consequences of his actions and the weight of his sin. The tribe of Reuben, once destined for greatness, found itself struggling to find its place among the other tribes of Israel. It served as a constant reminder of the consequences of his actions and the weight of his sin. Reuben's descendants bore the burden of his mistake, living under the shadow of his failure and the curse that followed. The exact nature of Reuben's sin against his father remains a subject of debate among biblical scholars. Some suggest it was an act of sexual immorality, while others believe it was a more general act of rebellion or disrespect. This ongoing debate highlights the complexity of Reuben's character and the enduring impact of his actions. Some believe it involved an inappropriate relationship with one of Jacob's concubines, an act that would have been seen as a direct challenge to his father's authority and a violation of family honor, while others suggest it was a more general act of disrespect or disobedience. This interpretation sees Reuben's sin as a broader failure to uphold the responsibilities and expectations placed upon him as the firstborn. Regardless of the specifics, the consequences were clear. Reuben's actions had far-reaching implications, affecting not only his own life but also the lives of his descendants and the dynamics within Jacob's family. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of integrity and the lasting impact of our choices. Reuben's actions had far-reaching implications, affecting not only his own life but also the lives of his descendants and the dynamics within Jacob's family. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of integrity and the lasting impact of our choices. The legacy of Reuben is a complex one, marked by potential unfulfilled and a lineage forever altered by a single, fateful decision. Despite his failings, Reuben was not without redeeming qualities. He was the eldest son of Jacob and Leah, and with that position came a certain level of responsibility and expectation. However, Reuben's life was marred by moments of weakness and poor judgment, such as his indiscretion with Bilhah, his father's concubine. This act caused a significant rift between him and his father, Jacob, and cast a shadow over his character. Yet, in the story of Joseph, we see a different side of Reuben, one that is often overshadowed by his earlier transgressions. When his brothers conspired to kill Joseph, Reuben stepped in to try and save him. He recognized the wickedness of their plan and sought to find a way to return Joseph safely to their father. This was not a simple act of defiance against his brothers, but a calculated attempt to protect his younger sibling. Reuben's intervention was a significant moment, showcasing his ability to stand up for what was right, even when it meant going against the collective will of his brothers. Reuben's actions, though ultimately unsuccessful in preventing Joseph's ordeal, demonstrate a sense of compassion and a desire to atone for his past mistakes. He suggested that instead of killing Joseph, they should throw him into a pit, intending to return later and rescue him. This plan, while flawed, was a desperate attempt to save Joseph's life without directly confronting his brother's anger and jealousy. It reveals a man caught between his sense of duty and the harsh realities of his family's dynamics. Genesis chapter 37, verses 21-22, recounts Reuben's plea to his brothers. Urging them not to shed Joseph's blood, he proposed throwing Joseph into a pit, intending to return later and rescue him. This act of intervention, though flawed in its execution, reveals a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness of Reuben's story. It suggests that despite his past transgressions, he was capable of remorse and righteous action. Reuben's anguish upon discovering Joseph's disappearance from the pit, as described in Genesis chapter 37, verses 29 to 30, further underscores his genuine concern for his brother. He tore his clothes in despair, a customary expression of grief and mourning in ancient Israel. This moment of profound sorrow highlights the depth of Reuben's feelings and his regret over not being able to protect Joseph. It is a poignant reminder of the complexities of human emotions and the struggle between right and wrong. Though Reuben's efforts to save Joseph were ultimately in vain, they provide a glimpse into the complexities of his character. He was not simply a villain in the narrative, but a deeply flawed individual capable of both good and bad deeds. His story is a testament to the idea that people are not defined solely by their mistakes, but also by their attempts to make amends and do what is right. Reuben's plea for Joseph's life is a powerful example of this duality, showing that even those who have faltered can still strive for redemption. Reuben's story is a reminder that within the tapestry of human experience there are threads of both light and darkness. His actions, though imperfect, were driven by a genuine desire to protect his brother and make up for his past wrongs. This complexity makes Reuben a relatable and human figure, someone who struggled with his own flaws but still sought to do good. His plea for Joseph's life is a moment of redemption, a testament to the enduring power of compassion and the possibility of change. In the broader context of the biblical narrative, Reuben's actions serve as a counterpoint to the more overtly villainous behavior of his brothers. While they were driven by jealousy and hatred, Reuben's intervention was motivated by a sense of responsibility and care. This contrast highlights the different ways individuals can respond to the same situation and the impact of their choices on the lives of others. Reuben's plea for Joseph's life is a powerful reminder of the importance of standing up for what is right, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. Ultimately, Reuben's story is one of redemption and the enduring struggle between good and evil within the human heart. His plea for Joseph's life, though ultimately unsuccessful, is a testament to his capacity for compassion and his desire to make amends for his past mistakes. It is a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is always the possibility of redemption and the hope for a better future. Reuben's actions, though flawed, are a powerful example of the enduring power of love and the human capacity for change. Reuben's anguish upon discovering Joseph's disappearance from the pit, as described in Genesis chapter 37, verses 29 to 30, further underscores his genuine concern for his brother. He tore his clothes in despair, a customary expression of grief and mourning in ancient Israel. This moment of profound sorrow highlights the depth of Reuben's feelings and his regret over not being able to protect Joseph. It is a poignant reminder of the complexities of human emotions and the struggle between right and wrong. He tore his clothes in despair, a customary expression of grief and mourning in ancient Israel. This act of mourning was not just a personal expression of sorrow, but also a public acknowledgement of his failure to protect his brother. It was a moment of vulnerability and honesty, revealing the depth of Reuben's remorse and his recognition of the consequences of his actions. This moment of grief is a powerful reminder of the human capacity for empathy and the enduring impact of our choices on the lives of others. Though Reuben's efforts to save Joseph were ultimately in vain, they provide a glimpse into the complexities of his character. He was not simply a villain in the narrative, but a deeply flawed individual capable of both good and bad deeds. His story is a testament to the idea that people are not defined solely by their mistakes, but also by their attempts to make amends and do what is right. Reuben's plea for Joseph's life is a powerful example of this duality, showing that even those who have faltered can still strive for redemption. He was not simply a villain in the narrative, but a deeply flawed individual capable of both good and bad deeds. His story is a testament to the idea that people are not defined solely by their mistakes, but also by their attempts to make amends and do what is right. Reuben's plea for Joseph's life is a powerful example of this duality, showing that even those who have faltered can still strive for redemption.